Okay, so people always ask me, "Hey Tony, how come you're so against ads?" Because ads drive me crazy. And I keep saying how the whole world is turning into nothing but ads. The whole world runs on ads. Everything is ads. Companies make money off of ads, off of selling your information, so they can advertise to you, so they can focus exactly what to try and sell you. And people think it's not a big deal, right? And then even now, like a lot of people are buying smart TVs, and like you open up the menu, what they started doing to a lot of these smart TVs is that they started pushing ads on the main screen on your homepage. And some people were like, it's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me. That's not the point. Point is, it should bother you because it's insane. And the reason it happens and the reason we have the world we have is because it's because people say things like meh, meh, it doesn't bother me, meh. And I always wonder, at what point is it not meh anymore? Or like the fact that you can't say anything online anymore, everything's censored, right? They're trying to really censor free speech to make it where like you can't say anything online anymore. And the companies that can do this, they're private companies or whatever, right? They're like, well, we can do it. It's our whether it's private company or not, whether it's Twitter or YouTube, it's kind of like, well, these are our companies, so if we don't want you on there, but they're basically a public service because YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, whatever else, these are like they're basically a public service because that's how everyone connects, right? Um, so I always wonder at what point will people stop saying meh and it actually means something to them? Like, um, and the other reason ads are so insane is because they're so desperate and manipulative. The idea of having an ad, just the idea that there's ads exist, I think people don't truly understand the psychology of that and how demented it is. The idea that there's ads. What you're doing is trying to manipulate someone into buying your product. That's what an ad is. Basically, that's what an ad is. And if you do that in any other part of life, it's considered psychotic, demented, evil, horrible, sadistic. Like um, if I were to manipulate a girl into sleeping with me, that sounds horrible, right? Because it is. Manipulating anyone in any sort of way is horrible. But with ads, it's fine. It because that's what it is. Think about this idea of what it is. It's like you have a product, and the product you it can't just be sold on its own. There's got to be some sort of trickery and manipulation to convince you to buy it. That's such a desperate way. It's desperate in any other part of life except with ads we just go meh. It's fine. It's meh. Like I'll give you another kind of example. Another example I'll give you is this idea of like let's say someone has a dating profile and they're really selling themselves. It looks desperate, right? It's like it looks really like kind of like, whoa, you're trying to. It's a turn off, someone really desperately selling. I'm a good person. I'm a really great catch. It's like settle down, right? So this advertising, selling yourself is a always comes off as desperate and cheap. And with products, it's meh. It's fine. It's meh. Everything is meh. And that's why we have the world we have because people say it's meh. It doesn't bother me. At what point does it bother you? At what point does it not become meh to the general public? Because I look at ads and I think it's the most desperate, demented way to run a society, an ad based society. Here's an idea. Like, let's say I have a tool shop and I sell hammers and screws and nails. I don't have to add. Have you ever seen an advertisement on screws? It's a screw and with a cool jingle. It's a screw. It screws into wood. No, you don't need it because if somebody needs a nail or a screw, they just buy it. They buy the right size. I need a 1 inch screw. You don't have to advertise it because it just does the job, right? You don't need to have a song and a jingle to sell a 1 inch screw. It sells itself. So this idea of like trying to come up with a jingle and a catchphrase to sell a product and a commercial, what is that? That's such a demented, desperate way to. If you have a product, it either works and it does the job or it doesn't. But we created a whole society based on trickery and manipulation and glitter and nonsense. And everyone's response to it is meh. It's okay, meh. And that's why we have the world we have. This is why, like, I never blame governments for stuff, or like, it's really people. It's people who say meh. I truly believe we always get exactly what we deserve. Always. We always get the government we deserve. We get the advertisements we deserve. All the way companies are is because we go meh. That's why. It's because we go meh, and then that's why we have the world we have. We always get the world we deserve. Because like look at advertising and manipulation. The news companies do the same thing. They get you to pick a side, and they make millions of dollars from you clicking CNN or Fox News. Pick a side and argue. That's it. That's what they just manipulate your head. That's all. An ad is nothing but a manipulation. That's all it is. News stations are nothing but a manipulation. And if you tell somebody that, what they do is they manipulate you into picking a side and arguing. You know? And then, so that's why we have this world, because it works. Somehow jingles, catchy jingles. Everything is a jingle in life. Everything is a horseshit jingle made to catch your attention. Everything is. Everything we do is a horseshit jingle meant to catch your attention. Everything. Like, you can't show me one person that has millions of subscribers on YouTube that doesn't have a jingle at the beginning and some sort of catchy thing at the end. You have to, everything is a jingle, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's like advertising a product, everything is a catchy jingle made to catch your attention. So what we're doing is, all we're doing is using manipulation to catch your attention. That's all everything is. Yeah, so, but it's meh. That's the reason. See, the reason it's fine is because it's meh. It's not a big deal. Now, what I'm curious to see in society is, at what point does it not become meh to the general public, where they fucking manipulate us with, like, they divide us into halves. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I watch Fox News. I watch CNN. Oh, I bought this new product because it was a catchy jingle, and it, like I said, back to a screw. You don't need to advertise. How come there's no advertisements for a 1-inch screw with a catchy jingle? Because you don't need it. If you need a screw, you buy a fucking screw. I need a 1-inch screw. You don't need jingles for something. If it's something that's useful, a product, you just go and buy it. You don't need a jingle that comes along with it. Human beings don't need jingles. Nothing needs a jingle. Unless you're writing a song, you don't need to have a jingle. Yeah, but our news station needs a jingle. It needs a catchy music at the beginning. It doesn't. It doesn't. But everything is just this jingle, and then they push this onto everybody in every way possible. Anywhere you can squeeze an ad and a jingle to manipulate you in some way, it's done. And at what point are people going to stop saying, meh, doesn't bother me, meh? Because we'll see. It's going to eventually head into a direction where I would assume the general public is going to say, all right, that's enough. But we'll see. I consider Earth an interesting experiment, and I actually like being here, even with all the drama and the trauma and the fucking demented nature of living a life on Earth. It's such a beautiful thing, but it's also so fucking demented that the fact that the whole world runs on mindless jingles and people just sit there with, like, their eyes glazed. Yeah, that's all you need to manipulate something. Just a fucking mindless jingle and a song and an ad, and it's that easy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, Earth is pretty fun. I think Earth is a fun experiment, even with all the mindless jingles and the nonsense. It's a pretty interesting place. I very much highly doubt there's places as dynamic as and crazy and interesting as Earth. I'm sure there's much nicer places, much more loving places, much more peaceful places, much more enjoyable places. But as far as interesting and dynamic, this place has it all. Pretty beautiful, huh? Anyways, that's it. Have a beautiful day. Bye.